Hey everybody, it's the 75th anniversary of the Interstate Cadet, so let's go to Oshkosh. I know, but it's going to be 90 degrees there. Oh, where did you think you were going to
See the offices?
This was bad. You should have seen the Fairchild 22 because it didn't have a package anymore. So, Marion, tower frequency though. We even packed the NOTAM, so we're really covered. Off of Cresswell, we headed up and over the Cascades, and while it looks a little formidable, we made it over the top of the hill nicely. It's probably the hardest hour of flying that you've got all the way to Oshkosh. But from there, off to the Columbia River and all of the nice irrigation circles, and off to Hermiston for the evening. Out of Kellogg, we got loaded up, got a fresh tank of gas, and off for another 2-hour leg across the Rockies, past Missoula to Deer Lodge, where we gassed up again, had to wait for the jet to go by, and then it was off to our place in Boulder. And you can see the pretty Boulder Valley right there. Okay, get the flare going. Power off. There you go. That's good. Nice. Nice. On the very front. That's not good. Jeez. Come on, you guys.
Drive over. What, it take a couple days to get here?
Yeah, well, when I was young, I used to 14 hours driving time from. So, but now we do. get as close as we can come on the first day, because, especially in the winter time, because we've got a boiler system in here, radiant floor. So,
Oh, I'll bet you that's nice.
yeah, but if you get here at 8 o'clock at night, fire the thing up and think you're going to be warm in an hour, not going to happen. So we try to get here as early in the day as possible, like noon. And if we're here at noon and fire things up, then by 10 o'clock at night it's starting to warm up and you can feel it, and you may need a little heater, or, well, we can plug in some electric heater to just quickly warm the cabin up a little bit. But it's comfortable. And by morning, toasty warm. You can barefoot all over the place, you know, it's just warm as can be. So, and we've seen minus 35 here.
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. Yeah, it's a climb. I mean, we had to go back and forth a couple of times before I had it.
Yeah.
But I'm the only guy with 65 horsepower, and I'm not even sure I got 65 anymore. Probably 58 or 59.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So how high did you?
Like 6,500. But I just kept nosing up because it was bumpy, and I knew, okay, if we get up high enough, it's going to poop out. And it did. About 8,500 to 9,000, we were just flat and smooth and purred. But then down into Deer Lodge, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last half hour up and over the hill was brutal.
It was rough.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. How is it on that side? It's good here, I think, if this is long enough.
You've got GoPros everywhere.
I do. Well, I've got the housings. I didn't actually use them because they don't last that long.
At Boulder, it was just a wonderful time to see the other cadets start arriving throughout the afternoon and evening. Matt and Terry came in from Oregon. There's Matt's cadet, and then 3 more showed up. One from Southern California and another from the Bay Area. And we had a great gathering of interstates, and all the locals came out to look at the airplanes. And it was just a fun evening. Marion put on a great spaghetti dinner for everybody, and it was just fun talking interstate cadets and having a good time, laughing about all of the adventures that we had to get here. So the next morning, we got ready to go and headed out for our next adventure. Did you bump it?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, close it back down again.
It's off all the way.
What?
It's off all the way.
Okay, now we got Slurpees.
Okay.
Heading out from Boulder, we passed, Marion caught a beautiful shot of the Three Forks of forming the Missouri River. From there, we stopped at Laurel for gas, and then off to Miles City for another gas stop, and then the beautiful geography and countryside of eastern Montana unfolded itself. I think that's the Powder River there. and the beautiful scenery out across the Dakotas with the cumulus clouds starting to build up. And we got ourselves to Lemon, South Dakota, for the next stop. By then, we had been joined by two more interstate cadets, so we had a total of seven interstates there, and it was really a great gathering. We went into town, had a great dinner, and that was a bunch of fun. And then that afternoon, evening, with the weather kind of threatening, we bundled up all the airplanes, got everything all nailed down for the night. And then some of us actually stayed, just spread out our sleeping bags in the FBO office, and Marion had a good spot to sleep, and we all tucked in for the night. And the thunderstorms raged, kind of off to the side, but then in the morning, right at the about the crack of dawn, the thunderstorm started to roll in, and it just started to rain and dump. And we had one big, huge mud puddle where all the airplanes were parked. So a bunch of sad pilots sat around watching the rain and the water build up for about, a good half an hour to almost an hour for that thunderstorm to pass. But it did, and it started to clear up, and we were able to pull the airplanes out of the mud puddles and get them going, get them all set, ready to go. And it was clear flying ahead of us. So off we went from Lemon to our first stop at Mobridge. And we stopped at Mobridge, got gas there, and then had another good stop at Watertown. And then to our evening stop for that night, we got all the way to New Ulm, Minnesota. So that was about 6 hours of flying time and a full day of flying for everybody. Was a great flight into New Ulm, and by the time we got there in late afternoon, it was really hot and steamy. And but it was amazing that after 6+ hours of flying time and seven different pilots and seven different interstate cadets, we all arrived at the same place pretty much at the same time. But it was so hot, we immediately headed for the terminal, and it was much cooler in the terminal. They had the air conditioner on. But we did get the planes all gassed up that evening, and we were able to tie down out in this beautiful field right adjoining the tarmac there. And it was just a gorgeous sight, and it was fun to have all the interstates all lined up for the evening. But it was, as you can see here, kind of hot and tired for everybody, so you had to take a break wherever you could find it. And so that was a good stop, New Ulm. Out of New Ulm, we were definitely flying under a low overcast, and it was pretty low. We probably only had a couple 100 feet AGL. And so some of these things that got in the way, like wind turbines, were interesting because we were more at their level. But it was a beautiful scene out there with all of the contour farming and all of the different patterns and things this is in Iowa. And our first gas stop, actually, for the first flight out was at Decorah. And then out of Decorah, we were headed to Poplar Grove, and we crossed over the Mississippi River, and it was still pretty low overcast, but we made it in just fine. And by then, more and more interstates started to gather, so we had quite a crowd at Poplar Grove.